Hey guys, if you've been around for a while, you'll remember I did a couple of videos about a mini chainsaw that a manufacturer sent us. Well, because of that video or those videos, another manufacturer contacted us and wanted to send us another chainsaw. And so I've got a second mini chainsaw to give you guys a review and tell you my thoughts on it. So let's talk about it. Hey everybody, welcome back to Grumpy Acres. Like I said, I had a second manufacturer contact us and they were like, hey, we saw your review, can you do a review of ours and give us your opinion? I was like, sure. The Scotsman in me will never turn down anything free. All right, so these people sent us this chainsaw, and what I'm gonna do, instead of like doing just a review of that chainsaw, I'm gonna compare it against the first one and tell you the differences between the two. And hopefully by the end of the video, you guys will have a pretty good picture of which one is the better value and how they both work. All right. Before we do that, I want you guys to think about, if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We do these. I really enjoy doing these product reviews. I think they're really fun to do. And then we talk about everything from homesteading to prepping, and we would really like you to join our virtual community. Now on to the topic at hand. The new mini chainsaw. Okay, so the chainsaw is the SAKER mini chainsaw, and they sent it. It came in this box. I couldn't do an unboxing because I had to open it up and had to make sure the battery is charged up and make sure everything was there. Okay, so here's the chainsaw. As you can see, the bar is much smaller than that first one. So this is a 4-inch bar, and this is a SAKER 20-volt chainsaw. Now my first impression of this thing as I'm holding it in my hand is, for the size, it is much more hefty. And the motor on it, and let's see if I can get it's got a safety button right here. So let's push that. Okay, the motor here seems a lot more hefty than the one on the first one that we had, and I'm not even going to pretend I can pronounce the first one. Okay, with that said, this one seems to be much better made than the first one, and I've got it sitting over here, and we're going to do a side-by-side review. Now, as far as what came in the box, you get the chainsaw with the 4-inch bar. You get an oiling bottle that's got some oil in it. You get the instructions, and then you get a wrench and a screwdriver. Okay, now here's the first major difference between this one and that first one. In order to get in here to work on the bar and change the chain, you have to have a wrench. So we're gonna unscrew this. Give me a second. Now, I did the second video of that first one. If you remember, there's just a cotter pin holding that plate on that keeps the chain in the bar in place. Let me pull this off. So this one has a much heftier, I don't know what you call that. I just dropped it through the, I can't believe that just happened. I dropped the nut that held this plate on. It hit the deck and rolled underneath it, fell through the crack, so I had to crawl underneath there and spend about 5 minutes trying to find that nut. But I found it, so we're back on track. Okay, as I was saying, so this cog right here is much more substantial. Now there's nothing to keep it from sliding off, but the way this plate fits on there is it fits all the way flush, so it's not going to come off. And this is much tighter than that first one. All right, let me put this back together real quick. Let's make sure I can do it without dropping that nut again. All right, so the chainsaw itself, it seems to be pretty standard. Another difference between the first one is the handguard does not go all the way down, and the battery is a 20 volt instead of a 24 volt. All right, now let's compare these things. So here's the SAKER with the 4-inch bar on it, and this is the Tenmenchi. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a little loose. I need to tighten that up. I've been using it. As you can see, it's pretty dirty. I have put this thing through the wringer. We're going to compare these things. All right. first off, 24 volt versus 20 volt. This one is, I think the engine being better will cut the same as this one. This one's got the 8-inch blade. This only has a 4-inch blade. Now, I was on Amazon and I was looking, and I when we first got this thing, I found an 8-inch blade with it on Amazon, but the only thing I could find today when I was looking was a 6-inch blade. So as far as I know right now, these come with 4-inch and 6-inch blades. If all you're doing is pruning and doing some light work, I'm not sure that makes a bit of difference. And like I said, the engine seems to be a little bit beefier, so that the 20 volts not going to make that much of a difference. The handguard on this one, much more substantial. I feel much safer using this handguard. Like I said, the sprocket back here that turns the blade is much more substantial. Now here's where some things differ. So on the first one, it's got this oil reservoir, and you can pump it and you can oil the blade by doing that. On this one, there is no oil reservoir, and you have to take and use a little bottle, and this is the one that came with it, but you could use something different. But you have to manually oil this. Now, I can tell you from using this old one, or the first one, not necessarily old, the first one, I can tell you that it goes through a lot of oil, and I'm suspecting that this one will too. Now, I have not used this to cut yet. And there's a reason. I'll explain the reason later on. To me, not having the oil reservoir, kind of a downside. It doesn't make it so it doesn't run any different. It's just you have to be more cognizant, and you have to be more engaged in doing that instead of just pumping a button. You know, comparing these two, this one is much more. It's heavier, but I'm not going to say it's heftier. This one seems like it's a lot better made. The quality on this one seems a lot better. Now we're going to talk about stuff that's kind of subjective, because as far as using these two saws, I think they probably behave exactly the same. So both these saws are made in China. The parts are made in China. SAKER has, last I looked, if I read it right, they've got business offices in Utah. I'd have to go back and look at it again. So they've got an American presence, but all the parts for this are made in China. And this is a clone of, oh gosh, what is it? I can't remember. This is a clone of a higher end saw. And I'm sure if I looked hard enough, I'm sure this one would be a clone too. Now, price. This is where it gets kind of weird, yeah, at least for me. So when we first got this one in the box, coming in the box, was retailing on Amazon at like $76, $78. I went to look at the prices today. This one in the box is $39. Now the difference is you get one battery, you get the accessories like I said, and that's it. With this one, you got 2 batteries, you got gloves, you got iPro, and it costs $68. And I cannot tell you, the pricing on Amazon on this thing is all over the place. So I found them at 50% off, so that would be $39. And I found them at full price with 1 battery and the accessories with a hard case. So where you find the price and where you buy it from, it makes a difference on how much you pay. The quality on them all is going to be the same. It's the same, as far as I can tell. They're the same saws. They're just packaged differently. The prices that are equivalent to this one, the $70 range, do come with 2 batteries. Comes with a hard case. Didn't find any that came with iPro or gloves. So I'm going to be honest. I'm having a hard time figuring out if this one is worth it or not. Like I said, I have not used it, and the reason I haven't used it is because I've already got this one, and I don't feel that I need a second one. I know one is none, 2 is one. I've got hand saws and everything that can do the job that these things do, so I'm not too terribly concerned about it. And this is the reason why I haven't used this yet. We're going to be in Bowling Green, Kentucky at the Kentucky Sustainable Living Festival. And we're bringing this with us. And the first person that comes up to our booth and says, hey, I saw your video about the SAKER mini chainsaw and I'd like it, it's yours. We're gonna give this away. We're gonna pass this on, and we're gonna let somebody else do the work and see if it lasts. You know, test it out and let us know if it lasts. But I personally, I think it's worth the cost for what it is, and I think it'll do the job. But I want somebody else to be able to use it and benefit from it. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm not going to use it, and I'm not going to show you cutting it wood. I'm going to let you guys decide. I'm going to put a link down below to the Amazon link for this one. I'm going to put a link down below for the Amazon link for this one. You guys decide which one. If you decide you want to buy one, you guys buy it. Like I said, they're both made in China, so you take that for what it's worth. I'm not sure I would buy either one of them because they're made in China, but that's me. And unfortunately, in the world we live in now, sometimes the only place you can get things made like this are in China. And from searching mini chainsaws, that's kind of it, or you're spending a lot of money buying something from Europe, right? All right, so that is the video. Like I said, Kentucky Sustainable Living Festival, first person that comes up that says, hey, I saw your video and I'd like that mini chainsaw, it's yours. I hope that this was beneficial. I hope that this gave you some insight. If you're looking for a mini chainsaw, if you're looking to purchase one, which one is probably the one that you want. It's a toss-up. Seriously, in my book, it's a toss-up. The only deciding factor now is I've been using this one for several months, and like I said, as you can tell, it is dirty and it's worn out. I need to tighten that chain up. Actually, I need to pull the chain off and sharpen it. I'm going to let somebody else have the joy of testing this out and seeing if it's worthwhile. They can get back to us and do that. If you've dealt with these things, put a comment down in the comment section. Let people know. We want to share our experiences with everybody. As I said at the beginning of the video, if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and think about subscribing. Comment. That always helps. Hit that thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up button like it's a liberal talking point and you want to destroy it, because that's what we want to do around here. We want to win the debate, right? We want to win the conversation. Most importantly, at the end of the day, no matter what you do, go out and live a lifetime free. Take care. Thanks, Milo.